in our management of the high country of this country.
Colin King.
Mr Speaker, it's quite clear that it's a very emotional debate when we talk about the Crown Pastoral leases. And it is interesting that it's 230. I mean, I've learnt a lot tonight, Mr Speaker, listening to various debates, but it is quite clear that we were in a situation, in my view, that there was a mess to be tidied up. And that mess that was left as it was not addressed adequately by the Labor government at the time. And it's interesting when you look at the Otago Daily Times, dated October the 10th, comment there that says, news this week of a historic properties purchase came on the eve of Monday's start of a 2-week hearing by the Land Valuation Tribunal in Dunedin to consider appeal over the way Land Information New Zealand sets rent on pastoral leased land. And that sort of epitomises around the Minuet station, Mr Speaker, where it was taken to a hearing, a tribunal, as to the formula that was then in existence. And I would have to say, as somebody who wouldn't be as bold to say as I've been to as many stations as all the other learned speakers have said, but one who enjoyed the hospitality and the convivial treatment of having Sean on those stations, mixed with those people and picked up the vibes before I even came into Parliament, how fragile the communities were. And I just want to speak about a community that I'm reasonably familiar with up the Aratri Valley, where there isn't what you would call any iconic views of Mount Cook or lakes or things like that, but they do have quite a nice view of Tapianuku, which is the highest mountain in the inland Kaikoura's there, just under 10,000 feet. They do have a major problem. They do have a major problem with rabbits. They do have a major problem with Heraceium, and they do have a major problem with actually being able to pay rents that could potentially rise by 600%. Now, I have heard the arguments put forward, Mr Speaker, from the other side as to the inadequacies of the farmers to address the government in a man-to-man fashion, to use a term, but they were head down, tail up, a lot of them, trying to make ends meet. And I appreciate that there will be exceptions to the rule, but it's mainly brought about because, as the point was made, these are very, very different times than when these leases in perpetuity were struck back in the 1860s. The resources are scarce today, and there's much more claim held to these areas of land than there was in those earlier days. In actual fact, if you lived in the Mackenzie country, even when I began sharing back in the 1970s, it was a bit of a joke. Absolutely. And if you were a merino farmer, it was a bit of a joke. However, times change, and I think I take great courage and encouragement out of the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment and what she said around how we manage those very fragile properties. Notwithstanding the argument that people will, privatise the gains and, socialise the losses. That is externalising the problems, and there will be difficulties around it. However, in saying all that, Mr Speaker, the Primary Production Select Committee will handle this diligently. We will, under the chairmanship of Shane Ardern, we will make sure that the submissions are heard clearly. We will listen to the arguments of the opposition. However, it is very important to address the issue because we ended up under the Labor administration with 80 lessees having appealed the new rent levels. Now, that in itself is not a reason to totally dismiss it.
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member, but the time has come for me to leave